We're with Cheryl Pounder and Brian Hayes now, and entering the playoffs, Stolarz really separated himself as the clear #1. So we got to ask you guys, can the Leafs survive this test against the defending Cup champs if he misses time? And Brian, we'll start with you.
Yes, I do think they can survive this test because this is what they've been preparing for all season, guys. Like, this is why you have a tandem goaltending scenario like they've had in Toronto all year. Obviously, this is not ideal. A lot of the anxiety, I think, in the fan base and probably amongst the team right now is that this is not Stolarz leaving based on his play, where Joseph Woll has to go in and anything would be better than the previous play. It's the opposite. Yeah. He's coming out likely due to injury, so Joseph Woll is being thrown in. I throw out what happened in Game 1. Joseph Woll, that's an incredibly difficult spot to be in. Yes, he gave up 3 goals. He looked shaky in the third period. They won the game. You reset. You go into Game 2. He's also, Cheryl, in very familiar territory here. I'm speaking of Joseph Woll. He came in relief of Ilya Samsonov last year and the year before. So Woll has been in this situation before. I think that's really significant when you consider how he could play if he gets in there for Game 2.
Yeah, Brian, that's the first thing I thought of when he came in, right? His ability to come in those situations and get wins. But also, over the course of the year, as analysts, on every single panel, we've been talking, who's going to be the starter? You know, come the first round in Game 1 of the playoffs. And there was a lot of question marks as to whether it could have been Woll as well. And you always knew that a tandem, this tandem in particular, was outstanding, atop of the charts over the course of the season, which is why we were having these conversations. So they do have a bona fide 1B, if you even want to call it that, backup in Joseph Woll. But if you look at the legs of this entire roster, I mean, the acquisitions that they have made on the back end, this is just a revamped team from the back end in particular, to push to the outside, to not give up those high-grade chances. And you saw it with their box outs, their physical play last game, and their ability to quickly counter to play off of the rush. So for me right now, this is a team, the first 40 minutes in that first game, that was playing and firing on all cylinders. They've been playing with both goaltenders throughout this year. I think that this team can still get it done, although it's a massive, massive loss when you're looking at the likes of Stolarz. And you know how pivotal it is to not have a one punch, but to have a 1-2 punch the entire stretch.
That's right. And you wonder how Woll can rise to this occasion, but a little bit of deja vu, as you mentioned, Hayes. Now, speaking of #1s, Sam Bennett has quickly become public enemy #1. So, Hayes, do the Leafs have a right to be mad? And what did they do about it in Game 2?
They definitely have a right to be mad because of the end result here. Anthony Stolarz is out, and we'll see what happens with him moving forward. And he's Sam Bennett. Every team in the league has a reason to be mad with Sam Bennett because he's probably done something to every single team in this league. So yes, you have the right to be mad. I think retribution should have been on the line in Game 1. That was the chance to go get him. They chose not to do that. That could have been orders from the head coach, Craig Berube. Again, the Leafs were in a very comfortable position, 4-1 lead going into the third. Don't worry about Bennett. Get the win and then reset. I don't think that carries over to Game 2. Now, what is in your best interest if you're the Maple Leafs? The best retribution on Sam Bennett and the Panthers is to beat them in Game 2 and beat them in the series and knock them out. Also, forget about Sam Bennett. I'm thinking the protection of my goaltender. I think that's a big conversation moving forward here, Cheryl, because Stolarz, if he's not available, that means he's not even dressed. That means he can't come in relief. You're a Joseph Woll injury away from Dennis Hildeby, Matt Murray. That's a completely different situation. So Sam Bennett will get his at some point. I have no doubts about that. But if I'm the Leafs, the message I'm sending, if I'm Craig Berube, is you make sure you protect Joseph Woll.
Oh, yeah, because if you're the coach on the other side, you're saying the exact opposite. You get to that crease. So you're mayhem in front of him. You're bumping. You're running. You're doing everything you can to get to the paint, knowing that Hildeby is your backup right now. You're exactly right. Bingo, the target there, Hayes, on that one. You have to protect. And one of the biggest things I think they're going to have to find a way to do, they're going to play even tougher in the paint. They're going to have to find ways to be even harder along the wall. You want them to pay the price? Bury them in those areas. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a fight or try to get Sam Bennett to go. There's a lot of emotion. You know that Matthew Nyes is certainly going to have a lot of emotion given what happened to him a couple of seasons ago, where he had an early exit in the playoffs because of that play below the goal line with Sam Bennett. So I do think there will be emotion here, but I don't think you can play, cat and mouse and try and chase him around the ice. They've got to win on the score sheet. This team needs to find a way to get to the next round, and the biggest bingo on this card is to get through. And so right now, I expect them to play more physical. I want them to play with even more edge, but they can't wind up in the penalty box all the time. The Panthers were able to fire and get a goal on the power play. You don't want to be, on the PK the whole time, and you don't want to give up the man advantage.
Okay, so you're talking by winning. The good thing is the Leafs have already won 5 playoff games this year, and the last time they won More than that, 21 years ago.